Hi, this is Aniruddha Deshpande. I am presenting MechaniCrafts. This is my first prototype for the educational technology final project. Although a video wasn't necessary, I decided that it was necessary for me to submit this video because the interaction with this prototype is a little different from the usual prototypes on Figma. So usually we'll just play the prototype through here by clicking here, but in this case I am using a lot of 3D models that I need to interact with within my Figma prototype, which is a quite necessary feature for the app itself. So to do that, I had to make quite a lot of 3D figures. So you can see these figures have been marked within my document submission as well. These figures that I can interact with work with a Figma plugin called Anima. So you can't really simply plug and play with this button right here. All you'll have to do is essentially go and search for Anima here from the list of plugins, select it, and once it's loaded up, you'll have to preview through here. And this is where you'll start interacting with the application itself, and then you can move on working with those. So let's say now, since the app has loaded up here, I can select the difficulty of models that I want to work with on my MechaniCrafts app. So let's say I select easy right now. On easy, I see a list of projects or models that I can build, along with the theoretical video that accompanies that particular model itself, that describes the mechanism that works behind in that model. And my idea is to have these videos being very child friendly and that are easy to follow. You can see a progress report for one of the projects that you've worked on. If it's a new project, it will be marked as new project. And say, for example, I'm selecting pulleys right now. So right now I'm selecting pulleys. The video thumbnail itself is shown. I have added a GIF of an excerpt of video from the pulleys itself. So this video will essentially play, and this acts as the theoretical basis to what model they are trying to build. So next, I'll go to the list of materials. I will need to build this model itself. So the list of materials are essentially presented here. They have been kept a little cartoonish so as to ensure high interactivity from the children itself. So these are the list of raw materials you would kind of need. So first, they could directly go on to assembling the model itself, but before that you would need to create the building blocks. So right now I'll go to blocks. So it'll give you step-by-step processes about what you need to do to build the blocks itself. So right now this is the first step, to just cut out the circles. On clicking next, yes, this is where the 3D modeling part comes in. So once this step essentially asks you to cut the circles itself, and you can see how the circles will look like in this 3D model right here. Like I said, these were built with spline, so that tag will essentially be here in this prototype. And this essentially goes on for all my building blocks as well. So you can see this interactivity is there, as I have cut a hole in the center of it, so it should look something like this in real life as well. Yeah, so now I'm sticking it to make a pulley wheel out of it, so it will look something like this, and the user can interact with it. They can zoom in, zoom out based on their prerogative as well. Finally, once you're done with making all the building blocks, all you need to do is click on assemble. It'll tell you what building blocks you have right now, and you can press next to start assembling later on. So again, there are step-by-step steps. There are arrows to point out where you need to put what building block essentially, and you will be able to see how your model would look like in this app itself. So I'll move on to creating the basic building blocks of the app itself. I'll move on to the end of it. Practically, this is one of the toy cars that you will need to attach to the pulley in this case. This is one of the steps as well. And finally comes the final assembly step, where you end up getting a pulley that looks something like this, where it is attached to a cardboard box that was part of the required materials. And once the model is essentially assembled, it tells you with an arrow that you need to pull down essentially to for the pulley to work. How it works, the functionality behind it is also marked within this 3D model as well. And that is my application, MechaniCrafts.